such time as he may consume, to the author of this measure, the gentleman from Arizona, Mr. Ciscomani.
Gentleman from Arizona is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, Mr. McClintock, for yielding me the time. I'm excited to see the House take up my bill, H.R. 5585, the Agent Raul Gonzalez Officer Safety Act. You know, this bill is simple. It makes evading law enforcement within 100 miles of the border a federal crime. Mr. Speaker, how anybody can be against this common sense legislation is beyond me. Calling it unnecessary is something that maybe they should, those that are opposing this, should maybe address that to the families that have perished due to incidents and these tragedies that we see on the border and in my district on a weekly basis. To me, it's simple. It's common sense that this should be a federal crime. Far too many lives have been jeopardized and tragically even taken at the hands of bad actors who engage in high-speed pursuits. If you evade CBP or local law enforcement, you are clearly not a good actor. Unfortunately, the current law does not make this a crime in and of itself. And it leaves the burden of prosecuting these individuals to our local communities, as if they haven't already paid the price of this administration's failures in this issue. Not only is this bill common sense, it's crucial and in some cases even life-saving. To quote one of my constituents, at least once a week, there is a high-speed chase through my town that also includes a 15-mile-an-hour school zone. Do residents need to die to get the attention needed to correct this border problem? I consistently hear about the detrimental impacts of high-speed chases have in southern Arizona, southeastern Arizona to be more specific, and in Cochise County, which is in my district. This criminal activity is not just reserved to drug cartels and smugglers themselves. Cartels now recruit Americans to drive down to the border and transport migrants north. We must change the calculus for those who endanger all of us when failing to yield to law enforcement. For far too long, the administration has allowed cartels to profit off the border crisis while facing almost no consequences. Another constituent has said, quote, we have multiple high-speed vehicle pursuits each week. The lack of federal resources to deal with those has led the county sheriff to become the de facto law enforcement agency to interdict the human smugglers. This bill is about supporting our local border communities who deal with the crisis daily and to stop the smuggling and trafficking. In calendar year 2022 and 2023, Cochise County reports booking 2,884 individuals for border-related crimes, costing over $9.4 million. This is in one county, in one state. I've seen the toll it takes firsthand in our communities. By letting this happen, this administration has absolutely failed Americans. Our local law enforcement should not be taking on this burden. These migrants are evading detection, and the smugglers themselves are evading detection. Or more likely, the cartels are telling them to do so. Yet again, our communities are being forced to do the job of the federal government. At a time when it's arguably the easiest to cross our southern border and be granted entry by this administration, freely almost, we should be asking ourselves why these people are fleeing law enforcement. The answer is, these are the really bad actors who the cartels want to evade arrest. Finally, I want to highlight the hero that this bill is named after. Agent Raul Gonzalez was killed in 2022 while pursuing illegal immigrants in Texas. His death underscores the tragic truth that our CBP risk their lives every day to protect our country. By passing this legislation, we are showing them that we have their backs. That's why this bill is supported by law enforcement groups like the National Border Patrol Council and 7 law enforcement groups in Arizona alone. I urge my colleagues to support my much-needed legislation. Let's send a message to our border communities and the authorities that we will always have their backs. And let's send a stronger message to the bad actors that we will pursue any actions that threaten American lives to the fullest extent of the law. And with that, I yield my time.